And so it is. Dear Imzaia, dear Shambra, dear lightworkers and dear energy weavers, that I and my companions sit here in front of you tonight on this most sacred, energetically loaded of days, in this most beautiful of energies. And it is indeed a privilege for myself and all the others to sit here in front of you. As usual, we do not talk solely to those who are present here in body tonight, but we talk of and to all the others that will listen to this or read this in some way at a later point in the timeline. We talk to all of you, and we ask those who are here tonight to open your hearts for all of the others who are there in different points of space and time, listening to these messages, reading these messages, for they are all family. They are all one. And you are just a heartbeat away from all of these other people living, breathing, enjoying themselves, worrying about themselves and others at other places, different places of planet Earth. When I say I and my companions, then tonight I means Adamus Saint Germain. And of course all of the others that are included in this energy, in these words, and also present in your heart, are energies, masters like Ekara, Cryon, Jeshua, Tobias, Kuan Yin. All of them are here tonight, and many more. And next to that, there is also angelic presence here. Angelic presence going by the names such as Michael, and Gabriel and Raphael, Daniel, and all of the others. We use many different names, but we are all one. Much in the same way as you are using many names, even for yourself sometimes, and yet all of these aspects of you are all one. And you are all one, blending with us today. When we say this is a high point of energetic days, then this is truth, for we are on the 18th of September 2007. 2007, it has always been an important year in the mix of your timeline, but this is indeed a high day, for this is the zenith, as it were, of a special portal that has been talked about a great deal in the past, the 999 portal, beginning of course on September 9th and moving on to September 18th, today, with a finish on September 27th. Now you have heard that this portal, the 999 portal, is about endings, letting go of that which used to be you, and inviting the I am that I am presence that can be you and that has always been you at any given point in the timeline. So this 999 portal is about endings. And after this, once you have crossed this portal, once you have crossed this little piece of time and space, then you will move into 3 months of a type of null energy, where after the ending of all things, there always is a type of death, there always is a type of letting go. It is even said, and it is indeed true, that every soul, once it crosses the veil again to leave the material form and move into the freer types of energy, takes some time to rest, takes some time to recuperate, takes some time, indeed, to evaluate everything that has gone before and deciding which pieces of the past experience, of the past life, can indeed be taken on to the core self and which pieces were not so very interesting, and were interesting experience unto itself, so it can be let go. This is the process in the coming 3 months of October, November and December that most humans on this planet Earth will go through. I and all the others know that many of you have been working towards this portal, have been working towards realizing that which you had set for yourselves as goals. And yet we only are telling you today that this is just the beginning. It is just the beginning of basically the end of everything that the earth has known. We have always told you that things would change in the year 2007, and once this 999 portal will be over, you will see many changes occur in the financial system, the economical system, the political system, the way children are taught on this planet and seen on this planet, the way people are being treated. All of these things can no longer be taken for granted, can no longer be seen as normal, and so the end will occur on the 999 portal in the 3 months after that, when you go into some sort of null space, a null type of energy where you will feel that many of the frequencies you were working with, many of the vibrations that you had already activated within yourself, will go to sleep. Does this mean that you will go to sleep? No. It just means that your true I am presence, your true awareness is finally waking up. You have been working towards this goal for a very long time, and we will talk about this later tonight. But we can say now that this goal, in essence, has been completed. And especially now that you have crossed into the 18th of September, now that you have crossed into the zenith of the 999 portal. And what is to come after this then? Very normal things, such as celebrating your Christmas. Make it a good one, for it's probably going to be the last one you are celebrating in this fashion. And then, of course, celebrating the new year with the fireworks going off, and the drinking, and the sleeping together. No? Well, make it a good one, for it's probably going to be the last time that you look upon the Gregorian calendar as your indicator of time. It's going to be gone after that. You are going to move back to a more natural system like the Mayan calendar, although it won't be called the Mayan calendar. It will be Lemurian time. It will be Lemurian space that you will enter into. So as you celebrate in the coming months the last of what was the Gregorian indicator of time, you will prepare for something else. And we, I and all the others, are very, very happy to be here tonight to talk to you. Indeed, it is a great honor for me to talk to you in this way. For you see, I and my companions have been working towards this goal together with you for a very long time, longer than you can remember. Oh, maybe some that are here, be it in energy, be it in body tonight, can think back to several lifetimes ago, can even go back to thousands of years ago. But I am very sure that none of you can go back hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years even. Well, millions of years ago, we, this being the energy of myself, Adamus, and of all the others, have set in motion a great experience. And all of you, connected through the angel energies, the angelic energies such as Michael, have agreed to play this field of experience as though it were your own. We were the creators of that which you now call this universe, and you have been the inhabitants of this universe partly being the co-creators of it, as you were part, all of you, in one way or another, of an angelic energy. Even those masters, such as myself, are part of an original angelic energy. And these angelic beings, such as the Michael, such as the Cryon, such as the Raphael, and all the others, why are they called angels in this universe? It is very simple. The angels are those who came first. So when this universe and the earth was created, these light beings, the angels, which are your brothers and sisters, nothing more or nothing less, are those who came first to this universe and to this planet Earth. And especially the Michael, the Cryon, the Raphael, and the Gabriel blended with the molten lava that was planet Earth at first. And so they put their energies and their consciousness and their awareness and their love and their joy and their freedom into the planet, so that it would follow a specific course of evolution. And indeed it has followed this course. It has created great wisdom. It has created great races. And we are not just talking about humans. We are talking about cats, for instance, and dogs, and horses, all of them representatives of other parts of this galaxy, other types of awareness, other types of consciousness, all seeking contact with humanity, which would be, is, and will be the key to unlocking the potentials of this universe. So as you move from that which we have all created together into the unknown, you will see at the beginning of 2008, which of course we are no longer calling 2008, but if you choose to do so, go ahead. At the beginning of 2008, you will see 4 great dates. This being the 1st of January, the 10th, the 19th. And these first 3 are again a 111 portal, creating the beginning of that which you call the new Lemuria. And of course, as the president of this new earth has spoken of before, the 28th of January will unlock, finally unlock this universe, so that it can re-blend with all the other universes, all the 11 others, all with planets like Earth that you have inhabited before. And it will combine all of these great energies. Get ready for the 28th of January 2008, for it will be a festive day indeed. The beginning of a new era on planet Earth, in this entire universe, and throughout all that is. And it is about this that we wish to speak to you tonight. And that is why I would like to propose a toast of energy. A toast of energy, because today this message will be called, this Ekaria will be called a celebration of free energy. Now let us all toast from the heart to this celebration. That is what today is for us. You are still experiencing endings, you see, endings of who you were, endings of a way of life, a way of existence that has gone on way before your lives, this time at least, started. But this is an ending of that which you have known. And although endings can sometimes be sad, when you finish a book you sometimes cry, when you finish a movie you sometimes cry, well, when you finish a universe, believe me, you will cry. You will cry because of the rich, thick tapestry of experience you have all shared together. We and you have all shared together. For this is what this place is, a rich tapestry. And funnily enough, it started out as an innocent experiment, not created by myself, but created by others like myself, who thought this 3D, who thought this meta concept could be quite interesting, to share experiences, to share vibrations of energy now put into action. And so this universe was created. And thus the great experiment started. Could it be possible for awareness to separate itself into trillions and trillions and trillions of bits? And we are not just talking about your minds. We are not just talking about your souls. We are talking about the souls of all animals. We are talking about the souls of all plant life. We are talking about the souls of all mineral life. And everything that exists on this planet, every cup of coffee, every table, every chair, everything you have ever seen is part of this I am awareness, albeit in lower vibrations or in higher vibrations. So could this great experiment work, that there would be a field of experience where all of these vibrations of awareness, although, in quantum physics they would say that awareness carries no vibration, but all of these aspects of awareness could run into themselves and experience them as separate units. And after a while, it became quite known throughout all that is, that this simple, innocent experiment that we had started, all of us together and you, that this experiment would become greater than we had first foreseen. For in it, you see, was that which you called free will. And free will means that you can start from a low vibration and move into a high vibration and go back to a low one again and go back to an even higher one again. It is all possible at any given time, just by choosing that it could be so. And thus we saw that those who had separated themselves among you, humans, those who had separated themselves from this I am awareness to play these roles throughout the timeline, could become greater than they had ever been when they were part of the I am awareness. Do you know how magnificent this is? That which started out as a fullness, a completeness on its own, shattering itself, separating itself into tiny little bits, humans, cats, dogs, horses, cups of coffee, now would have the opportunity, would have the ability to raise their consciousness separately, higher than ever before, so that they would blend together again and create an I am awareness that was more aware, more complete, more unique and perfect than ever before. So we decided that we would create a timeline, just one among trillions, a timeline where this path could be followed. And this timeline would include many different things. It would include happiness, joy, love, but also sadness, you see, also death, also pain, also illness, separation. And it would need all of these things so that this timeline could carry every single one traveling it to this new type of awareness that we have just spoken about. And so here you sit, near the end of this timeline. The timeline to end all timelines. For we put a specific code at the end of this timeline. Would it ever be reached by consciousness? Would it ever be reached at a certain vibrational level of that which you would call light beings? then it would basically implode all of the other potential timelines into just the one, and thus create a new cosmic Big Bang of sorts. And this is where you are arriving right now, in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming months. So you see, when I say that this 999 portal is a celebration of free energy, then believe it is a celebration indeed. It is the manifestation of a dream dreamt by that which you would call God, which is a part of you. It is not the other way around, you know. You are not part of God. God is a part of you. Do you see how different this approach is? You have always placed yourselves below the divine image. Now I and the others are here telling you that God is a part of you, for you are the expression of God. And is it not so that the expression itself carries more weight than that which is expressed? You are the ones putting things in action, you see. It is like the light of a light bulb or the light of a candle. The candle itself is a unique thing. The candle itself is beauty, but it is the lighting of the candle which is the expression. It is the flame which is the expressor of the candle, like Akara has told you, some of you here a couple of days ago. It is the expression of the candle that is the dance of the cosmos. And you are the dancers. You are the candle burning the universe, bringing the matter of the universe into a higher vibration called heat in this case. So if you are just aware of this fact, that the universe will always dance, and just as long as you dance together with the universe, and you just enter into this dance without preparation, then you will find yourselves always at the right spot, always being the expression of divinity, turning matter, turning the lower vibrations and the lower frequencies into higher ones by just expression, your very heart. Now, enough with the introductions for tonight. Let's get into the real stuff that I want to talk about with you. You might have noticed that I chose to call this new type of energy not new energy, as you have talked about it before, but free energy. Why free, you could say? Why is celebration? Why are you entering into this new state of existence? And to answer the why question, I first have to answer several other questions that have been on many people's minds and in many people's hearts in the last few weeks and months. And I will begin with a first question. Let it be this one. How exactly can you define free energy? It was asked by a lady in Africa, South Africa actually, who was listening to Ekarayas or messages such as this one, and who thought it all very cool, who thought it all very interesting that there was a new type of energy coming. But then, she was a scientist, she still is. How can you define new energy? How can you define free energy? And she asked this question for a very simple reason. It is all very well that new energy is coming to the planet. How can you work with it? Now that you have come to the end of an era, now that you have come to the end of a portal, that you are just cruising through right now, how can you start changing the way you exist? How can you start changing the way you experience things? It is by getting used to new energy, free energy. So let us go to the first question. This lady, this scientist from South Africa, asked, how can you define free energy? Well, first of all, let's look at the word free. It's the first time that we have put this word in front of energy instead of new energy. Free because everything you have experienced up until now has been energy in definition, energy in a state of experience. Every type of energy that you have run into, be it matter, such as the houses you live in, the planet you move yourselves on, has always been defined as it was matter. And matter always has a beginning, a middle, and an end. This type of definition is no longer part of free energy. Even your bodies were not free. Even your bodies that you live in were defined by a beginning, a middle, and an end. A growth circle that you would go through, and in the end, a death that you would experience. This is no free energy at all. Free energy cannot be defined. You know this. But how can you define something which cannot be defined? There is only one way. By becoming it. By experiencing it. There is a difference in the word experience and the word experience that I would like to give you now. For instance, this cup of coffee, it holds a black liquid. I am experiencing the black liquid as I hold it in my hands in this cup, and my senses are looking at it. And of course, my previous contacts with humanity have taught me that coffee is hot. It is in the Akash dictionary. And so I can smell the coffee. I can listen to the coffee, don't hear much at all really. And then if I want to experience it, there's just one thing I can do. Drink it. And this is also a perception, a judgment that is pretty bitter indeed. Coffee is nothing for Adamus. Adamus likes wine and beer. Anyway, the experience of coffee in this way is a sensory experience. External. Something which you internalize by means of the eyes or the other senses. In this case, mostly by means of taste. But free energy, new energy, needs to be defined by a different type of experience. It can no longer be defined by externalizing something and then internalizing it. It is about becoming that which you experience. Always. And this is a very different way of looking at reality. For you experience everything in reality. You experience matter. You experience the things around you. But you have never, almost never at least, become the things around you, the people around you. Have you? And if you would have, would you ever have known fighting in your life? Would you ever have lied to one another? Judged one another? Judged the shape or the form or the experience or the energy that someone is in? You would not, for you would have been that which you would have experienced. This is how you need to work, how you need to define new energy, Imzaia, by becoming that which you are experiencing. Now, how you do this is something that we will also give you later tonight. For there will be an exercise that we will give you. You have become aware in the last few weeks and the last few months about the Akene. You have learned about the Akene. Now we will give you instruments, tools that you can work with the Akene. For the Akene was never something that would have been used in old energy, in constrained energy. The Akene cannot be used in that fashion, so the Akene has been a type of gadget of sorts in the past few months, but now it will become your most extraordinary, extrasensory sense of all. The sixth one. That which you have always heard about but have never been able to truly experience. This is the Akene. It gives you access to free energy. And now, as we are sitting in the zenith of this 999 portal, the free energy through the photonic belt is finally entering into planet Earth. You might notice that you have been letting go more than you have ever done. You might notice that things are looking pretty weird in your lives right now. Not just the ones who are here, but everyone listening to this. Because nothing works the way it used to work. And you better get used to it. For it will only get worse if you don't. It will only become more intense. The way you have lived life, in general, is changing. And the Akene is something which will help you in this respect. But more about that at a later point, before we end this communication tonight. So, that is the definition of free energy. It is in the experience and in becoming that which you experience. Another question asked by a lady in Russia. How can you work with free energy? Interesting. Working with free energy is becoming, again, free energy. You have been used to being healers and channels and that sort of thing. Maybe, in some cases. You have been used to experiencing this type of energy which was channeled and which was brought by healing. This was always something external, like I appear as something external to you. But in free energy, you will notice that this externalization can no longer occur. You can no longer bring in energy healer. You can no longer bring in energy channel. You can't. It doesn't work that way anymore. You have always been taught that the universe is within. Everything that you externalize is within. So you now need to start being aware as you enter into these new realms that working with free energy is something that takes place from within. Always. And this will be your greatest lesson to learn in the coming 3 months once this 999 portal closes. How to see everything as coming from within. Working with free energy is understanding your inner voice. Working with free energy is understanding your inner self. And this is something you haven't worked with quite. For the mind that has reigned on planet Earth has always pushed you outside. Even in your spirituality, you talk about the higher self. And that's something that exists without because it's on top of you somewhere. Like a hat you wear or whatever. It isn't. It is within. It is the inner self that experiences the free energy. And this will become a very important lesson in the coming 3 months, for everything else around you will not work if you don't activate it from within. So, creators, if you want to create, if you want to weave your worlds, so to speak, be aware that it begins from within. And so, do not listen to things, to rules that come from the old world. You can no longer work with the old world and be in the inner self at the same time. Only today, Akara has talked to some of you about setting up an organization, for instance. It is impossible to set up an organization, to weave a reality by looking at external rules, rules that are of the old world. If you want to work in free energy, then you need to begin within. And beginning within sometimes requires some cleaning up. For the mind also appears to be on the inside of you. You have not yet figured out, most of you, that the mind is an energy that moves around you, twirls around you, and constantly pulls you outside of yourself. If you were to stay on the inside, then you would see that things work in a very different way. This is why your dreams have caught in flames, have been caught on fire lately. They are twirling throughout your consciousness, these dreams. Sometimes you don't remember them. That's because they are really in the heart of you, and you still don't know how to get to the real heart of you. But your dreams have fired up. And this is because reality, now more than ever, is taking shape from within. You see? And then there is another question. After you have defined free energy, after you have experienced it, after you have learned how to work with it, then there's another step that you need to think of, that some of you thought of, and these are people from all over the planet asking these questions, asking them sometimes, strangely enough for some of you, as they are listening to this message that was pre-recorded in their own reality. So this is a question from a lady in Holland who is listening to these words some days after they were first recorded. And her question is, what exactly can I do when I have found this new free energy in myself? What is the difference between new energy and free energy? And this is an interesting question, for it brings us onto a discourse that is different than the one we were going into tonight. Well, dear lady and all the others, let me tell you this. If you really want to be free, if you really want to experience what this new world and this Lemuria is bringing, then you need to stop defining yourselves. You define yourselves in so many different ways, and we will not go into the ways, for we have gone into the ways you define yourselves so many different times already. But if you stop defining yourselves, if you think of yourselves as free, this immediately breaks all the illusions that you are in. For how can free energy be in illusion of shape and form? How can it be in the illusion of exchange? There is nothing to exchange if you have no limits, if you are free. How can it be in time and space? These are also restrictions, right? Restrictions of the way energy moves forward and the shape, the place it shapes itself into. Illusion 3 and illusion 4. Free energy cannot die. It can't, for it would no longer be free if it did. And free energy, in the sixth illusion, cannot be separate from itself by visualizing itself as the other. For if it did, it would no longer be free. It would be in form, and the other representing it would also be in form. So free energy is something to think about. It is something that will allow your consciousness to let go of the mind that has held it as a prisoner for such a long time. And free energy will automatically bring you into freedom, of course. It will bring you into universal love as well, and into universal joy. So you can imagine that today, even though most of you are experiencing a weirdness of sorts, that we are celebrating. For we know that this weirdness that you are in, that you have always been in, basically, is going to be over pretty effing soon. Yeah, I was bugged there somewhere by a Kara who didn't want to say the word fuck. So anyway, I have blah 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 on enough about free energy. I want you to experience it now. So we will go into a specific type of exercise working with the Akene. We have talked about energetic discipline before in the New Energy Human Part 2. We have talked about focus a great deal. It are indeed these things that will take you into free energy. But focus and energy discipline are part of activating the Akene. Only you have been thinking in the wrong way when it comes to activating the Akene. You have seen it as a tool. You have seen it as a method of healing. You have seen it as something that you need to do every single day. You have seen it as, well, a defined thing, really. And it isn't defined. It is quite the opposite. The Akene is that space into yourself which is timeless. And the time in which you practice it brings you into a spaceless time and into a timeless space. This is also an experience of free energy. You need to stop thinking about the way time and space have been structured. And how do you do this? It is very simple. Let me tell you a little secret. Some of you know that time and space are created in the brain in the moment in which the synaptic pathways and the neurotransmitters fire off and send a thought from one synapse onto the other. This takes a little bit of time. And it happens in a little bit of space. And these little bits of time and space create a huge universe around you. Or at least the illusion of a huge universe around you. It is so very funny to see that this little thing, which you would not even see move in the brain, creates this huge field of duality that you exist in. Also, and this is the wee little secret that we will tell you, also, time and space are kept into place by something else than just your body. They are kept in place by a form of constrained energy which you have been using to create your bodies all along. We have been telling you about frequencies, and how 12 frequencies make up one vibration. So how a set of 144 frequencies make up 12 vibrations. If you want to be in free energy, then you can no longer see these vibrations and these frequencies as separate. You have created 12 vibrations indeed. And you think, problem there already, but you think that several frequencies that go into a vibration create the mind, and some create the body, and some create the experience that you live, and some create the karma that you live, and some create the others around you, you see. For it is the vibrations and the frequencies that create a cosmos that is externalized. What we will do now is take you into an exercise, a very simple one, where you will learn how to use the Akene to melt all of your vibrations together. You see, Imzaia, we want you to experience free energy for real. And if you're going to do this, then you can no longer separate yourself from everything else around you. So you must become everything else around you. And this is something that meditations have been trying to achieve for such a long time. The funny thing is, the key has always been within. We have told you, when we were talking about the Akene, that there are 144 lemniscarian cells right after, right behind your thymus, your thymus. 144 lemniscarian, meaning infinite cells. By now you should know that the electrons that make up these cells, that move around the atom, don't just move around the atom in a circle, but go in an infinity sign. You know this. So that the cell itself replenishes itself energetically and doesn't lose energy and doesn't create aging, right? Well, it is these cells behind the thymus that hold the key to free energy. So I invite all of you now to close your eyes, if you like, or keep them open, depending on what you prefer. And just move, Imzaia. Just move. Just move around a little. You have been taught that activating the Akene can only happen when you take the energy that twirls around you and when you take it inside through the heart. Now as you activate the Akene by going from the heart to the back of the brain, to the center of the brain, and back to the heart, as you do this movement and enter into this spiral, I invite you to focus on the place behind the thymus or the thymus. It is there that you have a set of infinite cells. Infinity means free energy, for it is divinity. You already have this free energy into your bodies. It has been encoded as a way out of illusion. All you need to do now is feel how this place behind the thymus feels like molten lava. It is hot and it moves around in your chest, making infinite circles, moving away from the center and going back to the center all the time. As you focus on this, use the 5 elements. Feel the movement as water, waves, going back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. But these aren't just waves. Not of water at least, these are waves of fire. Waves of lava. Your inner volcano. Creating new life. Creating new freedom. Deleting all boundaries. Every single moment of the now. And use the wind. Let it blow on this molten lava. Let it cool off. Just a little bit. So that the movement slows down. Just a little bit. And then move onto the element of earth. Put this earth, this planet that you live on, inside of this molten lava. That's where the planet Earth and all of the universe really exists. Inside. And let it melt away. Melt away. Not in a dramatic fashion, just slowly sinking into the lava, which is your own infinity. Shh. And things go quiet. This is your free energy. But it cannot be bound. So what we're going to do now is we're going to free it up even further. Use your heart, very close to your thymus, so that this lava will spread through your entire bloodstream with every heartbeat. And as it does, it goes beyond the boundaries of your arteries. It moves into all of your tissue, your muscles, your organs and your flesh. This hot lava, which is creation itself, constantly creating itself, moving throughout your entire body, becoming your body. And as you are this, you understand that this is what it means to be the light being. You no longer have separate cells. They all melt away in this fire of creation, this molten energy that is your freedom. Feel the love that this brings and the joy, for you are now not just unique, you are sovereign. And as this lava starts touching your hair and your skin, you feel that it wants to go further. So it goes through your pores. and it becomes the space around you. You become the space around you. Starting right at the heart, you become all of these things, and you melt them away. Let them just be engulfed by this aspect of you. And as this happens, as your energy takes up all of these things and also the people around you, something shifts. Vibration after vibration after vibration start marrying each other. They start becoming one. And as vibrations become one, so you spread yourself ever further, ever further. It is this experience which is free energy. And it starts right at the heart of the Akene. So the Akene itself is a place of free energy. Let the world drift even further away into your very heart. As you go with this feeling, you feel that you have now reached the ends of the universe, the very border. And then you see, Imzaia, that as you expand beyond the universe, another expansion begins, for this edge of the universe is the basic cell at the heart of the Akene. And so the pulse happens again, goes through your body, through your arteries, through your skin, through the things around you, through the planet, and expands and expands and expands ever onward. And so you notice that you indeed are the universe. And you understand now that this is the way life will be lived, will shape itself from now on. And you realize, how could you ever have thought that things were different? How could you ever believe that you had no influence on the circumstances surrounding you, the objects surrounding you? They have always been creations of your basic Akenic cell. It is this Akenic cell, Creator, that is your memory from home. It is this Akenic cell that connects all of you to all of you and all of the things around you. It is this Akenic cell by which you communicate with all things throughout time and space. Do you see the connections? Do you see how this travels through all of your lives? And to all of the people around you and their lives? And how webs are created? Webs of experience that give you the illusion the illusion of separation, but really you are all just stemming forth from this Akenic cell that you all carry within. It is the cell of God. It is the cell of the Creator itself, and it lives within you. And what if I told you that the greatest thing I have ever learned is that there is just one Akenic cell, making up all that is. So all of the bodies you see around you, and all those that are seeing your body, they are just connected to this divinity. And as we are in this state of freedom now, I invite you to prepare yourselves for a big, big creation. As you will notice in the coming months and sometimes even weeks, how several types of technology which have defined your lives will start to fail. How the economical system, the political system will start to fail. You will need a new way of communication. You will need a new way of interaction. But this is not interaction, it is interaction. It is interacting from within. You have all gotten used to so many different types of communication, and most of them these days are running through your internet, your phone systems, your email systems, your instant messengers, and your webcam systems have become a part of you, more so than you think. In this state of free energy, I want you now to focus on all of these tools that you have used in the past, phones, etc., the internet itself. And I invite you, as you did with the earth entering the molten lava, I invite you to internalize these objects. You see what happens to the Akenic cell. It is no longer just a cell. It becomes a star, a brilliant sun, putting its rays everywhere around you. So you are connecting, even though you realize you are everything around you. In a certain state of mind, you are still connecting now. And now, all of you hearing this, at whatever point in the timeline, I invite you now, together with me, to initiate a new creation for humanity, based on the Akenic cell, based on the Akene. I invite you to create the origins of the Akenet, a way of communication, a way of transmission to everything, starting from this very center of your chest, the Akenet. Think it, feel it, build it up, even higher, even wider, Make it more real. Even more real now. Pull it into your reality. There are billions and billions of potential coming together through all of you now. And all of them are being pulled together. They are being drawn towards one another as more and more of you are creating this grandest of creation. And then all of a sudden, all of these potentials just blend. They blend into the Akenic cell, which is the center of you, the center of all things, the heart of all things. And then there is an explosion. As this Akene becomes a reality. Welcome, new Lemurian, vibrationless creature, frequencyless creature. You are now the heart of all things, and as you are, in your sovereignty, in your universal love, in your universal joy, in your universal freedom, you are communicating with everything, for you are everything. As this creation will grow, in the coming days and weeks, you will feel how things around you become unimportant, for they are already within. Try it. Try it with music that you like. Instead of putting on a CD, just go to this Akene, to this Akenic cell, and listen to it from there. Instead of closing off your connection to the world by the external sensation of sound, by putting on your iPods, go towards your Akene, your Akenic cell, and pull the music from there, from your Akene. If you want some knowledge, if you want some information, if you're looking for whatever, pull it from there. This can work even for the most stupid of things. If you want food, don't use the old ways. Don't go into the stores and buy it. Pull it from the Akenic web, from the Akene. Pull it from there. There will be something or someone in this world whose passion it is to create foods. And if you pull it from the Akene, you have two options. Either you externalize it or you internalize it. If you externalize a creation, that means that you will run into that person, however, and this food will be offered to you. If you externalize it, anyway, but if you internalize it, you can just create this food for yourself. It will be within you. If you want clothing, if you want anything, you can just pull it out of the Akene. And these are just simple exercises you can use. But there are other uses of the Akene, of the Akenic web, and these are the beautiful ones. You know how in the olden days of the old energy, there were many, many different artists that created grand pieces of music in their heads, yet they couldn't find the funding, the money. Second illusion of exchange. They couldn't find the right label to bring this music out. So oftentimes they gave up on their dream and they let it go and they started to work in a bank or whatever. Or maybe they even died a little bit inside as their dream couldn't materialize. Well, now you have just created the beginnings of the Akene, where you will be able to create this music and then to broadcast it for everyone to hear and experience. There are two things to say about this. First of all, it will not be so that this music will then be picked up externally. You will not need a provider. You will not need a wireless network. You will hear it from within. And as you hear it from within, created by these composers that are just creating out of their passion, out of their joy, you will notice how at first it will just be music based on what you have heard before. The instruments that you have heard before in this world. And then the alien instruments will start coming back in as you remember these. And then you will learn how to really work with your neocortex, with your imagination. You will learn how to create sounds that no human or no alien has ever heard before, just by your imagination. These will be the grand pieces of music, based on freedom. And there will be no labels bringing these out on CD, they will just exist when they exist. And there will be no artist who thinks it's important to safeguard his creations or her creations for all time. They will just exist in the now and will be transmitted through everyone. And then they will be gone again. And this energy can be used for a different type of creation. And the second thing that we want to say in this type of example is that you will see that finally people will not need look for ways to express themselves, to put themselves out there. It will be a passion. So, through the Akene web, through the Akene, others will enjoy this piece of music and will make sure that this creator can create for the good of all, you see. For how would it be if a soldier getting ready to attack the enemy, getting ready, pumped up with the drugs that the US Army or whatever type of army is giving them, even times in cases where they don't even know they're getting it, pumped up and full of drugs and full of whatever, getting ready to attack the enemy, suddenly hears this new piece of music, this blessing from one heart to another, transmitted to everything. Do you really think this person will pull a trigger? Do you really think another person will cheat on another by lying? Do you really think these things can still go on? This is the basis of what you now have created, all of you listening. Now that you know what free energy is, and now that you have the basis on which to explore it further, becoming all things at first, and then sharing it with all things that you are yourself. The time has finally come. Once this 999 portal is finished, to teach you more about the 5 elements. For you see, Imzaia, I will not be the one teaching you this, not me, not Adamus. But there will be others teaching you this. There will be the Shastaic energy, the Kamalaic energy, the Toraic one, and the Renaic one. These 4 beautiful, beautiful dragons. And there will be a Kara, and several others teaching you about this, but you could not teach others, you see, that existed. They could not teach others that existed in an old way of energy, as they themselves existed in a new way of energy. You needed to merge first, and this merging is creating an emergence of insight, an emergence of growth, an emergence of opportunity. Opportunity which will allow you to finally understand that these 5 elements, the 5th being consciousness, are really only the building blocks for that which you call the Akeneic cell, the basis of all life and all creation. And working with these 5 elements just means that you learn how to operate this one little piece inside of you, giving shape to all around you. You could not learn this. You could only browse through it. You could only touch it slightly when you were still in an old type of energy. But now that you have reached the zenith of the 999, it is time to begin that which the Lemurian already knew, but could not even use in the way you are all going to be able to use it. And this is beautiful. This is beautiful, for you are now going to browse subjects that no human, including myself when I was still human, that no human could ever actually live as a truth when still on planet Earth. So you are all beginning a new adventure. And we must be the teachers, bringing something which has not yet existed in matter now into the realms of matter. This will be a challenge. It will be a challenge for those who are going to do the teaching and those who are going to be the ones being taught. For you will work with systems, with aspects that have never breached the consequences of matter. So you will see, as this teaching about the 5 elements continues, that you will have to experiment a great deal together with those teaching. And this will be interesting. This will be interesting, for you see, this whole place, the universe and all that is, started out as an experiment, as we started out in the Icaraya. Who knows where this one might lead? It is a marriage of heaven and earth, a marriage of energy and matter finally coming together, so that you will begin to understand there is something beyond matter, there is something beyond energy. I have given you one of the last teachings that I can ever give you, being part of this Imzaia consciousness. I am no longer skilled to move you beyond that which is to come. I am a creature of the old ways, you see. And although my energy is free, I will also be taking part in these classes. I will also be a student, just like you. I'm really looking forward to see what we are all going to be doing together. I hope that during the classes, during the insights that you will be offered soon, that we can experiment together, you and I, that we can play with what we are going to be taught. The consequences might be dire, but it might also be fun. A lot of fun. And that also means that now I can finally put down a mask that I have been wearing for a very long time. I have always been forced to speak in the old ways, you see. I've always been forced because the energies of the planet Earth were unfit to, at least en masse, see energies like myself, like Adamus Saint Germain, in a different type of way. And this has led you to believe that spirituality is a very serious thing indeed. But of course it is not. Things will change in the future. The way these teachings are going to continue will change in the future. We have asked this messenger, this body, once the final cycle of the universal manifest in which these teachings are presented begins, to call this the New Lemurian or 5 Elements series. And you now know the reason. So we have now just browsed through and barely touched the subject of free energy. For me, this is a completion to everything that I have started up decades ago. Everything that we have all started up together eons ago. Hundreds of thousands and even millions of years ago. A new cycle begins. A cycle of freedom. A cycle of love. And a cycle of joy. Where non-definition is the only way that you can exist within matter and energy. It will be a challenge to learn how to operate these new surroundings. It will be a challenge to learn how to operate even the Akene cell. But you will see that as time not progresses but fades away, as space fades away, and as all of the other illusions fade away, your energy will become freer than you ever thought it possible. One final thing. We have used the word free energy, the concept free energy, as a way to bring you beyond the energy concept. For even energy, you see, was constrained, was fixed in 12 vibrations and 144 frequencies. When I speak of free energy, and all the others will speak of free energy, you will know that this is something that moves beyond 12 vibrations. And the reason why you have only worked with 12 up until now is that your consciousness, which is not the I am awareness, not the I am presence, your consciousness could only expand itself thus far to see 12 and then to collapse again, for then the mind would do a translation of that which it could contain in conscious energy. So this would be your reality, this would be your body, this would be everything around you. But now as these things are going, you will see how things are shifting. You should be proud of yourselves, Imzaia. You should be celebrating this free energy, just like we will continue to celebrate all throughout this portal, all throughout the 3 months after that, and all throughout the new 111 portal with the 28th of January as the real burst, the real rocket flame, the real launch pad of free energy. You should celebrate for the creation that you have just done, the creation of the Akene cell, and the creation of the Akene will take you places that you have not yet been aware of, not yet been dreaming of. But will take you to a place where you will understand that place has never been real. Understand now that there is only you, only you, only you expressing yourself in trillions different ways. And this makes up your cosmos, your universe, your reality, and your experience. We wish you great celebrations. And we will now give all of you and the one speaking some time to process what has been said. For it might seem that not much has been said tonight, but if you learn how to listen to that which we have said in your hearts, that energy that we have placed in your hearts, if you learn how to listen not with the senses of old energy, but with the non-sensic field, which is the free energy, then you will know the drastic things that have been spoken by me to you and by you to me here tonight. I will return shortly to answer questions. I know there will be questions, so I will return for this. Of course, as always, you are dearly, dearly loved. For all the Imzaia, for all the Shambra, for all the light workers, for all the energy weavers, and for all my companions, making up the One, the I Am awareness, this is, yes, this is, Adamus Saint Germain. And so it is.